any society is how it treats its women and girls. The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
We create
The smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women.
We can fight.
I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me.
No man is big enough for us.
Many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles.
Buckle up, buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. I'm Liz. I'm one of your hosts. My co-host, Donna, is sitting right across from me. How are you, Donna?
You know, I feel illuminated this morning. It may not be true,
Oh,
but I feel like it.
how did you get illuminated?
You know, I've been taking this Qigong. I got this Qigong teacher, and I'm doing 1-to-1. And I'm waking up in the morning like I am a nocturnal creature.
I'm a nocturnal creature myself.
4 o'clock, I'm like, let's go. In the afternoon, that is. So, yeah, that's why. And my brain is more clear. And I feel more positive. I was getting a little grizzled, middle-aged
okay.
grizzles you up, and feel a lot of good things. I don't know if there are a lot of good things happening.
I don't think so. But what is Kui Chong or whatever you said it was?
You know, it's an ancient practice where you use various movements coupled with breathing, and it seems to like realign your chi, which is your energy. It's actually talked about in some of the World Health Organization literature.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And they're kind of joining with Western medicine. And just for your smart people that like stuff like this, it's been around for a long time, but after the revolution in China, they had all these sick people and not enough doctors. So they said, you know what?
We're going to make something.
No, we're going to use Qigong and introduce it to the masses. It's a big population.
Oh, okay.
And so they introduced public Qigong. And that's how they got people healthy and back to work and stayed healthy, so they keep working.
Ah, gotcha.
How about that?
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's better than our health care that's been in the news lately.
Lord
right?
have mercy.
We got to do
Yes.
something, y'all.
Yes.
What else we got?
Well, happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah. Tonight starts Happy Kwanzaa. So whichever one, or if none of the above, whichever holiday you celebrate, happy.
Which one? I just started saying Merry Christmas. You know, if I could say Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak, if I could say Happy Hanukkah. Okay, Hanukkah started, so now I'm saying Happy Hanukkah
Right.
to people that are known to me, identify as Jewish. And also Happy Kwanzaa, which I do not celebrate, never have, but I honor and respect it, hold it in regard. And these, but yesterday was Christmas, so I said Merry Christmas. See how that works? It's okay. It's okay. But we have a guest coming on our Zoom.
Ooh, yay.
So
she's not here yet.
Okay. So what else we got going? There's a plane crash.
There's... where do you even begin? The media is pushing so hard to make Luigi into a villain.
It's not working.
It's not working. Nothing they do is working. And it's like, and now, United Healthcare is apparently a healthcare company.
Health hazard.
It is absolutely not. It is an insurance company. And so, yeah, the media is just glossing on that so hard. Oh, well, he had children. Well, his children are older, and he and his wife have been separated for 6 years. And I still haven't given up on the idea that maybe the wife is behind it all, but we'll see.
Wasn't the media just praising the assassination of someone on the other side of the world the other day, unanimously
Of course.
praising it? Okay, so it's just like Ukraine good, Gaza bad. It's like these dichotomies,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Just checking.
So, and if you look at the photographs from his perp walk, it's like he's got at least 20 officers surrounding him. It's like, this dude didn't shoot up a school. He killed one guy.
So the New York NYPD under Eric Adams is struggling with they got PR crisis going on up there. So that picture looked like someone said, "Hey, you guys look as cool as you can. I mean, you want to look as, cop action flick, serious as possible. Hold those long guns up in the air. I don't even think you're supposed to carry a long gun like that. Some of them had to stick straight up in the air. And I was like, I'm not a gun enthusiast per se, but that doesn't look right. But they wanted the guns to be seen, and some of them were wearing pitch black sunglasses. They won't let you drive around with your windows like that.
Right.
And pulling you over. And they were, even Luigi had on Kevlar. You could see it under his jumpsuit. And it was almost like Team America stuff. It seemed parody-esque to me.
It was ridiculous.
Okay, it wasn't
all that energy around one dude when you have school shooters that you take to McDonald's first. And it's like, why don't we put up this show of power when regular people are killed? Non-wealthy people are killed. Why don't we have these big armies of folks out there? It's a message to corporate America that, hey, we got it. We're going to get you justice and blah blah blah. I think that's all it is. It's a flex for the super capitalists.
So, but the problem is you can't. There's a clear exercise in flawed logic here for the public, in that you cannot oppress people until you squeeze all the sunflower oil out of them, and then expect them to empathize. Even people who are doing okay in this, middle-class people who have everything they need in their refrigerator, everything they want in their closets, everything they want to roll around town on, and they're saying, too bad for this guy, small violin. And that's because they have family members and people that they are adjacent to, people that work with them, who are not being paid fairly, who are not being treated fairly. And they empathize with the working class struggle, which we've been trying to bring center since Bernie, but we've been unsuccessful because too many people were like, it's not really touching me yet. But as we went through COVID and people depleted their savings and ran up their credit cards and now are bristling under the bit still, it's almost impossible to pay those credit cards off with the interest accruing. You miss a couple payments, the interest goes up. Even people that we consider to be well situated financially are carrying a lot of credit card debt from COVID and even before COVID, right? So it's very difficult to take the middle class, particularly the bottom half, and the working class and turn them against this guy when these corporations are making life a living hell for the average American. People are not resonating with the media party line and talking points.
Right. Meanwhile, his fellow inmates gave him a fade and threaded his eyebrow.
Those black guys in there. Same thing happened to, what's his name? Who was the guy? Bannon. Bannon got a workover by black guys in jail. They said he was gangster, right? Because it's a culture, right?
Yeah.
It's a culture.
Yeah.
And so they initiate guys that, pass the sniff test into the culture. And I guess they felt like he was rolling with Trump and he was doing big things. And I mean, no matter how you feel about it, right? Like you can kind of get what's happening there.
Yes.
And then he comes out, with empathy for these guys' situations, how they're raised, the communities they're raised in. So he got an education too. And he spoke rather, it didn't sound patronizing. It sounded like he had been given an education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you go to the countryside and you go, oh, I see this now.
Right.
You're an urban dweller and you go to the countryside and you're like, there's a romance, there's a beauty in this lifestyle, and they saw that these guys had basically put flowers in concrete. They try to make their lives beautiful in there, and they're just dealing with what they have. They're not all horrible people.
Right.
Yeah.
So Luigi has become the human equivalent of the orca. who's destroying
He
the
is, but he's also Arthur Fleck. If you saw Batman Folie à Deux, if you saw if you saw that, I remember one time I told my German husband, I said, let's go to Les Centrale. And he said, darling, it's Le. Le. Okay. All right, whatever, dude. All right. He used to pick at George Bush, too. It was back in that area. So he's Arthur Fleck, and Arthur Fleck was a tragic story. We started out with the first one, and we thought this was the prequel for Batman. Mm-hmm. We found out in Folie à Deux that he was actually not Batman, that he was a guy who had delusions of grandeur. And he was just a sad guy who had mental illness, and the system failed him. You see that? Mm-hmm. And the system failed him, and he turned to the dark side. And he became a folk hero, and he went to prison, and even the guards liked him. And, you know, he had friends, and, you know, he met a girl, and the women are already showing up at court and sending letters and panties and, you know, all of the things that these women do. And I feel he feels more tragic to me because his life will never be the same, nor the life of his family. And the guy that the guy that I don't want to say this stuff on the radio. Can we do the Surly disclaimer?
Yes. Mm-hmm. The opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF Tampa.
Because now we're in the era of Trump, and I don't want to bring the smoke to my radio station here. I'm a smoky chick, but I try. I'm a Smokey the Bear, but I try not to bring the smoke to the radio station because people will hear us saying these things, and then they will ascribe these opinions,
right,
valid or not, to the folks who are running in the board of the radio station. So I don't want that, but I think everybody can figure. You can fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Got Fran.
There's Fran on the line, and then our guest is waiting in the wings. So, hi, Fran.
Oh, hi. Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Getting back to the what you were just talking about with Luigi Mangione. Every time I see that Eric Adams, and he's so self-righteous and everything. What was he involved in? Some kind of a fraudulent thing with that mayor Eric Adams, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's under federal indictment for a host of things.
I mean, it's just sickening to see him get up there and act so self-righteous about this. And another thing that I heard, I don't know whether you heard it, about the man that was shot, the CEO, Brian, what's his name?
Thompson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brian Thompson. He was involved in some kind of insider trading.
Yes, he was.
And he had a DUI in his past because they put his mugshot up earlier in the week.
That I didn't hear
and
about.
He was about to testify on that, Fran.
Say what now?
He was about to testify on the insider trading thing that he and his friends were involved in.
Boy.
Yeah, that was coming right up.
But it just shows the none of these parties are innocent, squeaky clean, and to make out like they are, it's just disgusting, and you know, and people are seeing through it. Though I think a lot of people see through it. So the emperor's what's the saying? The emperor's
new clothes.
No clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the story with that. I just wanted to add that. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Fran.
And to Fran's point, I feel like we're on the edge before we go to our guest here. And I need to read the bio before we do that. But let me say this. I feel like we're on the edge of the era where you can't just buy islands, you know, use kids for party favors.
Right.
Wipe out entire fortunes of people that are vulnerable and go on about your business, right? Like I feel like that era, this is the beginning of the end of that era. That started, maybe in the Gilded Age, where you just kind of like, it was open. And before, I think people tried to like subdue their wealth and not appear to be so, the word embarrassment of riches came from somewhere. I think that was ripped off during the Industrial Revolution in this country, and people were like, look at me, I am richer than
Yes.
God. And that has endured from that time. That was also the time of the central bank and the installation of an aristocracy in this country, of
yes.
a financial aristocracy. So we're going to go over here, and today we're talking with Madison Page. Madison Page is the founder of Free Life Nation. I think I got that right. And the other day we were, she hit me up on Facebook on a post that I was writing about movement tactics. And I told her that we had been telling people about that. We have been telling people about that, and I think this is the first. Madison asked, is this a live broadcast, and how should I promote it? There will be another opportunity. I'm sure there are going to be many questions that we can't answer for the public today. So I told Madison that we've worked together in the past on a couple of things, that people have been asking for, what else can I do? I feel vulnerable. I feel unsafe. I'm a disabled person living alone. We had that last week. And so what do I do? And then we kind of generically said, hey, there's a group called Mutual Aid Disaster Relief, MADR. You can find them on Facebook. They're local. They've been doing this work, but long before this became an issue, disaster relief all the way back to Katrina. Right? So we'll hook up with those guys and see how we can support each other, because we're going to need each other. But then when Madison came up with this, I said, oh, okay, well, let's have her come on and talk directly about co-ops and mutual aid. And Madison is a lifelong entrepreneur, strategist, and author whose career spans creative industries, political movements, and health and wellness innovation, with ventures ranging from television, truly a Renaissance woman here, and film production to leading-edge political strategy and sustainability-focused businesses. Madison is known for her forward-thinking approach and ability to anticipate next steps in any landscape. She has authored 2 books, Punching Nazis. That's a smoky title. The Plan to End the Republican Party. Here. A Bold Political Blueprint, and The 7-Day Garden, a guide to growing microgreens for health and self-sufficiency. Madison is also the founder of Feral Women Over 50. I knew you'd like that. I knew you'd like that. A brand dedicated to smashing stereotypes and empowering women to live boldly and unapologetically at any age. Makes me think of Women Who Run with the Wolves.
Yeah.
Across all her work, Madison has challenged convention and built innovative models that uplift the underrepresented and create meaningful social impact. You can Google Madison on Madison Page, PAIGE.me. And we're here today because Madison has recently, if you look at my Facebook page, there's a public post there. I'll just, in a few minutes, when we get started, I'll move that over to Surly Voices and Surly Feminists for the Revolution. But you can link to that. But Free Life Nation is something that is new. And what we hope to do here is protect vulnerable people by creating living situations that protect people from the vicissitudes of our economy. And so, Madison, welcome to Surly Voices.
Thank you so much, Donna, and thank you for having me. It's just a real pleasure to reconnect with you and to come on and share my enthusiasm about Free Life Nation and things that we're trying to do in communities.
Yes.
So what got you into organizing in the first place, Madison?
Well, that's a little bit of a long story. I think my heart has always been with the underdog. And I would say probably, the short version of that story is that I was responsible for about 300 or 400 volunteers back in 2008 in Florida. And one of the things that sort of bothered me so much about so much of that energy around that particular election was that our local and state representatives didn't have nearly as much attention or energy. Fortunately for me, I was in charge of the volunteers, and so I made sure that when they went out to make calls or knock doors and make calls, that they were also talking about our local candidates. And the people who were trying to do things locally, because really, I so deeply believe that that's how we get people involved and empowering people in the process of what's happening in their lives. It was a number of years later that I started a political consultancy that focuses exclusively on state and local candidates, helping them with the understanding that they have a lot of financial challenges that also lead to other types of challenges. And we've been at that particular enterprise since 2013, and we've helped a lot of people along the way. We're very proud to be able to do that and to make that help available because of subsidies that we can provide, because of outside support that we get from people who believe that state and local politics is pretty important.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you see, so tell us specifically about Free Life Nation and what you hope to do with the support of us, beloved community.
Wow. Free Life Nation, at the time, I was doing some volunteer work with an organization that is an international organization called Time Banks. And I sort of liked what they were doing, but I felt like it was overly complicated. And then the attempted coup happened. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't call it an insurrection. I really stay away from that language because I don't believe all insurrections are bad insurrections. Mm-hmm. However, this was an attempted coup based on lies and misinformation. And I looked at that and I said, we really need to prepare for a time when we are absent of government, or worse, when we have an actively malevolent government. And I don't think a lot of people pay attention to these things. I think what happens is people become used to these systems that we have in place.
Right.
And they say, oh, well, if somebody tries to do that, we'll file a lawsuit. It's like, you don't understand. Mm-hmm. Those courts are not guaranteed to you.
Right.
You understand? You're not really grasping the potential of the depths that we could go in this country. I saw it after that attempted coup, and I said, we've got to do something. And I'm a strategic thinker, and I just said, well, what do we do? How do we get out of this? Because we're already sort of in a mess, right? Prices were going up. People were paying, people couldn't afford rent. People were looking at, how am I going to, I remember right after, the pandemic, the prices for rent, everything just went right up.
Yeah, it was wild.
It was crazy. And I just thought, how do we survive this? Fortunately, I don't think you ever have to reinvent the wheel.
No, I never do.
You really don't have to reinvent the wheel. For the vast majority of human history, we have done what we're just talking about doing at Free Life Nation, which is decommodification, mm-hmm. introducing a more communal mindset, helping people to build relationships of trust in their communities, making sure that we are thinking about sharing economies and giving economies. Because I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, my house was where everybody went after school.
Yes.
Nobody was paying $500 a week for childcare. My house was the house where everybody went after school. And that was fine. Mm-hmm. But we've gotten away from it. And it's not our fault that we've gotten away from it. It's been designed and engineered that way.
Right.
So that we are not in community anymore. We don't have time because we're busy working 6 jobs and 2 side gigs, and we don't have time. And by the time we do get home, we're exhausted and we don't want to spend time with getting to know people. It's exhausting. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of labor.
Right.
To do that. But it's gotten to the point where I believe there's a breaking point for that.
Well, yeah.
And we just can't keep, this is an unsustainable system that we've been thrust into the middle of.
like hamsters on a wheel.
This makes me think of, Madison, this makes me think of Zeitgeist. Maybe that was the mid-2000s. It was kind of some of the energy and thinking that was behind Occupy.
Yep.
Right? That I remember those times very much because I was high in Seattle. It's very high.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. And, as always, you get this creative thoughts, they come to you. Everybody was high. Like people were pouring mushrooms into pots of boiling water.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, they're legal in Colorado now. This is not necessarily counterculture anymore, right?
Oh,
This
okay.
stuff has gone mainstream. You can just go into the store and buy a mushroom.
I ain't taking no mushrooms at all.
Yeah, don't
Thank
do
you.
it. Don't
Thank
do it.
you.
Let me just
No.
tell you, don't do it. Right?
No.
Just from experience. So that I wouldn't suggest. I would recommend 0 out of 10. So the Zeitgeist movement, Peter Joseph, the Venus Project down in Florida, and the thing that stood out about that to me was the decommodification. And I remember in the movie where he said, suppose you have we want to play golf, and there's a public golf course.
Right.
And there's the best golf clubs that anybody could have. And you could take these golf clubs and go to just choose your clubs and you go play golf. And people said, well, people will steal them. And then they said, not if they were always available, then no one would buy them.
Right.
And it wouldn't be a commodity anymore. And you'd simply have the burden of storage.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they lose their value when they're readily available, which is why the government pours out all this milk and destroys all this corn, is so that they can manipulate the prices. There's a reason why the dollar is stable, and it's because of the commodification and the vast systems that uphold it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Scarcity
Okay.
is manufactured.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a short
Scarcity
version.
Exactly. Scarcity is an intentionally engineered state, but we do not have actual scarcity.
No.
Right.
I mean, I think anyone who's done any kind of, grassroots organizing knows scarcity is not even a real thing.
It's not a thing.
It is just something that we're told exists. And so we are always commodifying everything. And when we do that, it just costs us more.
So what does that look like in action?
Well, it looks like I have a vacuum cleaner that I don't use, but instead of giving it away, I'm going to put it on Marketplace for $20.
Ah, yes.
That's what it looks like. Why not just give it to somebody who needs a vacuum cleaner?
Right.
Or why not just say, hey, if anybody needs a vacuum cleaner, I have a vacuum and your friendly mutual aid group. But we're taking it one step further because all of those things are great and they do great work and we're not taking away from any of that. But what we want people to do is we don't want these types of things to be transactional.
Right.
We want to help build relationships. We want people to help get to know each other. So it's not just, hey, I have a vacuum or, hey, I need a ride to the airport. It's, hey, I've got some extra food at dinner tonight if anybody wants to stop by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's, hey, I've got a coat that I don't wear anymore if anybody needs it. It's,
I think the
let's
next
get to know
question.
each other. I am having a dinner party next week. Does anybody want to come by and play some games? I got Jenga and Uno.
Right.
So my next question that I'd like to ask is, so when I hear those things, I think of a commune because you have to close the circle. Because if you don't, it has to be a very specific group of people that you're in this arrangement with, and then it has to grow. Like then this commune connects to this commune. It's like they're like cells, right? Because if you don't, then you have predators that will take advantage of
Yes.
these situations. Because I was thinking in my mind while she was talking, oh, I've got all this stuff, like clothes with tags on them from my, shopaholic era. I want to get rid of those things. I could simply have a free garage sale, but someone's going to come by, load all this stuff into their truck, and they're going to sell it.
Yes. Yes.
Sure.
Madison, do you mind taking a phone call?
No, of course not. I
right.
don't mind at all.
Here we go then. Lee in Irwindale. Hi,
Yes.
Lee.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I love this discussion about community values, about helping people, like you said, having garage sales, and then, just saying, go ahead and take it if you need it,
Yeah.
because there's no use getting that, $2, $3, $4. You might as well help your neighbor. But I had a question for the speaker. I love this discussion about community values. One question I had was, with Polk County Democrats, we're having trouble bringing people into our fold here in Red, Florida. And I know that you ladies are talking about all these issues. My question was, she talked about a coup. I thought to myself, what coup is she talking about? I mean, is she talking about Trump when his group tried to take over the United States, the Capitol?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we need to say those words. It was Trump who did that, and we're too silent. We're too passive. Why didn't she say it was Trump? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, Lee.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you want to join the discussion, give us a call, 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org.
So back to my question. So how do we stop? Because I can imagine we have this trend. Let's say we have a trend. It takes off, right? Free garage sale, hashtag free garage sale, And then people come, and then the predators come. All this stuff ends up on the marketplace, right? Or Poshmark or Macari.
So what Free Life Nation is really focused on is so first of all, what our philosophy is, get to know your neighbors first. This is really about relationship.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the first things that we suggest that people do, just do something like have a block party, or if you're in an apartment, have a floor party, right? Mm-hmm. Or just, have a potluck, or just do some things where you have an opportunity to get to know your neighbors. Because the site will allow you to do that. So when you log onto the site and you sign up, and by the way, it's all free. You sign up, it goes by, your location. And so what happens is you're able to find people who are nearby you. And so, let's say, you wanted to have a little potluck and you wanted to organize with some people in the community. You could actually post that. I want to have a potluck. Is anybody nearby? And you could tell it within 2 miles of my house.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And so, but even before you do that, it might just be you and your next door neighbor. And it just starts with the two of you. My parents used to have football parties on Sundays. They used to have the little football parties on Sundays, and they had a friend down the end of the street. They used to come up, Mr. Terry and his wife, Irina, and they used to come up, and my next door neighbor, Bert, the next door people, Bert and Ernie, used to come, not Bert and Ernie, Bert and...
I was going to say,
wow.
man,
No,
what
it
a
wasn't Bert and Ernie.
coincidence.
It was Bert, and I can't remember her husband's name, but they used to come over to watch the football, and it would just be like a little group of people down here watching football. And they had a bar in the basement, and my mom would be making daiquiris, and it was just.
It was
But
nice.
these were people
Yes.
that I knew
Yeah.
in my childhood, and these were the next door neighbor, and I could go next door if I didn't have a key or whatever. But these are how you begin to build relationships. And so the site, it facilitates this. We want people to have a way to get to figure out, well, who lives across the street, and can I get them? And let's figure out, let's do something that is fun and allows us to just get to know each other first, because we're not in a headspace right now. We
Right.
have to change the way we think about how we relate to one another. And that is a huge undertaking, because we have all been brainwashed in this society to look at each other as commodities and a means to an end. And we're so busy and we're working and we've got so many of these concerns and things are squeezing and squeezing. But we have to shift that way of thinking a little bit. And the only way that happens, because you know what? We're already doing this with our existing friends.
Right.
We're already doing this. We're already sharing with them. And we're not looking for reciprocity. We're not looking for, okay, I did this for you. Now you're supposed to do this for me. We're not
Right.
doing that. We're already we already have this capability. So this is really about expanding that circle of people with whom you have that type of relationship.
So this is like next door for mutual aid.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It really
a
is.
less racist.
Oh, well,
Next door is horrible.
We really want to move people into a space where we are recognizing community. And that doesn't mean you're going to be friends with everybody on the block,
Right.
but it at least means that you will know people. Because right now, we don't even know people.
Right.
That's crazy. How can I live across the street from you? I don't even know your name. Like, how's that? How?
Yeah.
How? We just can't do this anymore. And ultimately, because people ask for things for, if I know my neighbor is having an issue or something and whatever, I don't have a problem giving them something. We are already built this way as humans. Most of our existence on this planet as humans, this has been the way we have interrelated with one another. It's only been in the last 100 years or 150, 200 years where we've sort of gotten into this mind space of everything is a commodity and everyone is an opportunity
Every
or a threat.
situation, circumstance, person, thing.
It's all that capitalist modeling for us.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Ray in Lakeland. Hi, Ray.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm listening and I'm thinking maybe today after a consumerism holiday, people can really like take in what you're saying. But I've been talking to a lot of people that were like supporters of the Trump and the whole change that people in like Polk County that are from Polk County, not people that moved here recently, the change they're expecting or the change they're hoping for, like no taxing overtime, not taxing tips and doing things like that so that part of your money doesn't go to the government so that it stays in home so that you can maybe spend more time at home and spend more time using those resources to build your own home. But I've been saying, if we actually defund the government in large by getting rid of certain systems, then it'll be more necessary for us to look at our communities and strengthen our communities because, there's a saying like hard times make strong men and weak time or easy times make weak men. I think that is sort of like the parent part of us, of our society, is saying maybe we've given ourselves too many liberties to say if I have enough money, I don't have to work hard for the things that I have. I can manipulate the system and work even less, and it sort of degenerates over time. And I think that maybe like cutting back on the idea of I've got money so I can spend it to I have a resource that I can bring to be mature, and that example is an example of maturity for the next generation.
Okay.
Like if we go back to having house parties and having daycares at home with families that are our neighbors, guess what happens in 20 years? All those kids remember knowing each other as children.
Yeah.
So then we have a connection with you. I just think it's great. And keep going.
You know what bothers me, and this occurred to me, a friend of mine posted a beautiful holiday picture on the internet the other day. I mean, it was perfection. But they were trying to, it was a takeoff on Hampton, the Hampton-ish, show.
Yes.
And what they were trying to do was project old money.
Right.
And I was like, how did black people slide into this at the revolution, right? Like the revolution is about to take off, right? It's like T-minus 10 and counting. And they're like, my concept for my picture for this holiday is old money. We're throwing those people overboard. What did you miss? and can you speak to that? Because it's bothering me that there's a segment of society that's just now getting money, right? And they want their own royalty and they want their own dynastic families, and this conversation about generational wealth is so completely out of touch.
Yeah.
And as a black person, I have a lot of questions to the people around me.
Thanks so much for calling, Ray.
Yes, ma'am. And don't ever forget, for anybody that likes the Cadillacs and the Chevys, there's nothing wrong with a bow tie.
I haven't had enough coffee yet to process
either.
that,
Yeah.
but I'm going to listen to it later.
We'll come back to it.
and I'm going to laugh really hard, I promise.
But Madison, can you speak to that? Because that was for you. I didn't know Ray was still on with us.
Well, so there's a couple of things that came to my mind, and then I'm with you, Donald, on the generational wealth, and I will speak to that. Because I don't think that wealth is necessarily a bad thing. Mm-hmm. It's how you use it. Because when I formed this Free Life Nation, the original name for it, and nobody's supposed to know this, so we'll just keep this between the three of us. The original name for it was From Each to Each. But I changed the name because I wanted it to feel a little bit different, and I didn't want to be fighting that battle.
Right.
I have a house. I happen to be living in this house with my elderly father and my spouse, but if I was here without, my dad's not, I wouldn't bring someone into the house, but I would have no problem sharing this house. I also would have no problem. I got a whole backyard out there I'm not using. If somebody likes to garden, I am terrible at it, which is why I did the microgreens book, because I'm great at that, but I'm really bad at gardening. I am happy to have allow someone to come in and grow vegetables in my backyard. And share them with others. So this idea that we have to all have the same things when we didn't all have the same opportunities to get the things is fallacious. And I don't think we have to go there. But if I have capacity to help, then that is my duty and responsibility. I have a moral and ethical obligation to help others who need something in that moment that I have the capacity to provide. And there will come there are things that I need that I may not have access to, because everything is not a commodity. Some things are just relational. Maybe I just need somebody to talk to and I don't have anyone.
So let me stop you right there, because my brother just tuned in and he was making some points. And I think that we didn't Terry Gross this. We went right past something that I think our listeners probably want us to open up.
Okay.
We talked about, he sent this message, he sent this text to me. We don't even know people, in quotes. Right. We heard Madison say that. Mm-hmm. We got to get back to community. Yep. Everyone is a commodity or an op. Okay. Yep. He said that's the problem with violence in the Black community. The relationships. Mm-hmm. When you know someone, you don't shoot them in the face. Well, that's not. The statistics don't say that.
Well, yeah.
Statistics say the opposite. But
you're more likely to be killed by somebody you know than a stranger.
So, you watch out. Watch your friends. Watch your family. But the idea that this random violence and drive-bys and those sort of things, you don't do that when you know your community. You're not going to shoot Miss Sheila's daughter that's home for Thanksgiving. Right. So. And he starts listing the people that we knew. And then I was texting back to him. I thought, I'm going to share this. That we knew everybody. Like, so let's say the parents didn't know each other because they weren't communicating. Mm-hmm. My mama knew that was LaRon's house. Yes. And he knew that was LaRon's mama when he saw her in the Pick and Save, right? Right. Yep. And so we knew every house had a kid, and you knew the parents all knew the kid's name. Mm-hmm. That's Donna and Deborah and Junior's house right there. That's this person's house. And so we knew when someone went off to college, we knew when someone got married. And you heard people say, she back with that boy again? Mm-hmm. He ain't no good for her. She gonna learn. She gonna learn. And you would hear these conversations. We knew each other. When I was 28, we lived in one of the more affluent communities in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. This was right outside Douglas County where Columbine happened. And I remember hitting that corner where my house was on Fox Hill, and you tap that garage door opener, and you slid that Camry into that garage, fully loaded Hunter Green Camry with the sunroof into the garage, and you closed that garage, and you didn't see your neighbors. Right. You didn't know your neighbors. And then someone would come by and say, hey, we're having block garage sale this weekend, and you'd be like, I don't know y'all. Right. And so knowing your neighbor, and I just watched the number on this call, we went from 250 to 283.
Ooh.
Because people want to have this conversation. People want to be in community. I think this is not our last show with you. I think we should do a part 2 next week if you have time.
I would love that. I would love that.
Awesome, yeah. Because, it is this way because we've all had to get on the hamster wheel and work and do our stuff. And I can't work if I have to take care of my kid too. So I put my kid in daycare. And and it's a never ending cycle. But I'm really intrigued by this Hamptons theme photo now.
You should see it. But I want Madison to tell me more about what maybe I should be saying to, because these people don't want wealth the way that you want wealth to distribute.
Sure.
They want wealth so that they can say, look at us on Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
And you don't have a Birkin. They want that kind of wealth. They want McLaren wealth.
Oh, okay.
Right?
There's nothing you can say to them.
Okay.
And we don't have to win everybody.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is and I would say this to the other people as well. You know, I could not agree with you more that we are entering a different era.
Yeah.
And I think that people like that, frankly, mostly respond. That is mostly reactionary. They're reacting because wealth, frankly, in the environment that we're in right now, wealth is incredibly important. It is an insulator against all of the things that could possibly happen to you. And in this country and in the system that we find ourselves in, if you are wealthy, you are insulated from a lot of that. So this is a protective reaction that they're having. And it is not incorrect. They are actually right in terms of if I have a lot of stuff, but it is a fear response. And it is a protective response. It's a reaction to the environment that we're in. But the good thing about that is that people like that will change when the environment changes.
Well,
because that's what they're doing. They're just responding to the environment. They are just reacting to whatever environment they find themselves in. So if suddenly wealth is not seen as something great, they're not going to be wanting to carry around that $50,000 Birkin bag when they think that it's going to end up getting them cracked across the head. They're not going to want to do that anymore. Okay, because these are the people who are just reacting and responding, and it's mostly fear.
So
and we're all afraid in different ways, and we have different ways of responding to it. We're suggesting, people like us are suggesting that we respond to it by going back to first principles.
So here I am. I'm listening to the show right now, and I'm at home, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is great, right? What is my step? What do I do? Do I take a box of cookies to my neighbors? Do I, tell them that we'd like to have a block party? Let's start planning a spring fling, right? Where we have a garage sale and some music.
Sure, of course. Yeah. So the website is functional, but we are still in beta. I expect everything to be the way I 100% want it in a little bit. But people certainly can go to that site. But until then, I would say, even if you don't go to the site, it doesn't have to be the entire community. It could just be one or two people. My suggestion is to plan something that you can do that's fun or something that is generous. Don't plan, we're getting together to clean up trash. Like, don't do that. Don't count for that. Plan something that's fun or generous. And it doesn't have to be multiple people. If it's just you can do it. You can sit a table in front of your house and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give away flowers today. I have some flowers in my garden and I just want to give away flowers. And then just get to know the people who swing by. Just sit outside and wave. People used to sit out on the stoop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's these three guys across the street from the station, and they're there every time I drive up, and they're sitting there and they're playing music, and I like the music. It's like really good music, and I wave to them when I come in. I wave to them when I leave, but I'm like, yeah, these guys. They know everything that's happening around the neighborhood, I'm sure, because that's what the old men used to do is sit on the porch and gossip, and
just go and say hi to someone that's out if they're walking their dog, just say hi. Hey, your dog is so cute. What do I see you walking your dog every day. Just start a conversation. So this is really, it takes time, but I think we can start just exactly where we are. And the idea is to just begin to bring in and foster a sense of, hey, hi, my name is so-and-so. I live right up the street. How you doing? No, I don't want anything from you. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's like
right.
when people talk to you, you immediately think, what do you want? Like, that's where we are in our society, where people can't even talk to you without you being like, what you want?
Right, exactly.
We don't want
Who
that.
are you? I don't know you. Why are you talking to me?
Who are you? What's up? What's the gig? What's happening? What's the trick of this? But we have to just begin that process of talking to each other again and just do something fun or generous. You got a deck of Uno cards, have a deck of Uno cards, bring a friend over and play Uno.
Ooh, a Uno tournament in the park.
Oh.
Yeah, with like free hot dogs and
it will
hamburgers.
grow from there. That's the thing. It will grow from there because people, like you said, people really want to do this again. But we're on a hamster wheel where we're being asked to spend more and more of our time to pay for things that we don't have control over how much these things cost.
Yeah.
Time is absolutely money. And the more time that the less money you need, the more of your time you can get back. And that represents freedom. The freedom to do the things that you want to do, the freedom to get to know your neighbors, the freedom to be with your family, the freedom to pursue an art, the freedom to open a business, the money. I like to ask people, imagine if you only needed $1,000 a month to live a comfortable life. What would you do?
You know, that question came up last month when my sister went to Zurich, and she said, they're so rich. And I said, we're richer. It's what you do with your money.
Right.
They're not spending their money on this massive army, right? And all of these, affronts all over the world. And then also financing other people's, war. Right. So their money is staying in their country. And they're also getting like offshoots from all those banks where they're hiding the money that the people are stealing over here.
Right. Exactly.
Don't forget about Swiss banks, right? Yeah, they're rich.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning, Madison. We're going to have you back on. I have one caller coming in, so I'm not going to let you go yet. But we need to get you back on and talk about, and we could plan something with our listeners, Donna. Just
yes,
this is an audience that's listening, and we've got the platform, and we can do something fun and generous or
I think
helpful.
we work through that during the week, and we have Madison back, same back time.
Cindy.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Good, Cindy.
Real fast,
how
Cindy.
are you?
Real fast.
I'm doing good. I just have to tell you one thing I've done in the past, and I did it for probably over 10 years. I walk the dogs on Belcher, and I go with the traffic coming at me, and I started waving at everybody. And one time, it was a lot. One time I counted, there were over 70% of them either started waving at me first or waved back. So it does happen. You just have to put some, smiles and joy in your life, and it spreads like wildfire. People don't believe that, but it does.
I do. It does.
I
do it with honk and wave in your community.
Thanks so much for calling, Cindy. That's a great idea.
Close us out, Madison. Tell our listeners something that they can take with them and hold them until next week when you come back.
Do something kind. I agree with Cindy there. Just do something kind, random act of kindness in your community this week. Just do that.
Yeah, if we can all start doing one act of kindness a week, then every other day.
You're on the corner, you got signs holding up. You got this.
Yeah.
Somebody loves you, and just waving at people, and people feel that energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful.
All right, so Frank has given me the finger. It is time to go. Please join us next week on Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5.
I like stunning. running. I like shining. I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? Bitch, I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the Tula. I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving